Wonderful. So you have a little goal card at your table. I want you to sort of keep that close. And when you feel like you're really clear on your C-type goal, to write it out on the goal card and write it out in the present tense. 1 or 2 sentences that really capture the essence of your goal, and then carry it on you in your purse or your pocket. Carry a little goal card on me. I spoke about that yesterday. We teach this in my coaching. Bob Proctor taught me this. Auto-suggestion is one of the ways in which you can influence your subconscious mind and turn your C-type goal over to your subconscious mind. I've included quite a long piece on the subconscious mind that I wrote in your workbooks for you to take home and have a look at and study as well. When you carry your goal card on you, I know I've got it on me. So every time I am aware of my goal card, what do you think would be going on in my conscious mind? I'm thinking about my goal. I go, oh yeah, that's my goal card. Think of my goal. Thinking of my goal. Thinking of my goal. So auto-suggestion, with that repetition, we influence our subconscious mind without even trying. There's many ways you can influence your subconscious mind. There's some great activities you can do, but this is how many people have got their goal card on them in the room? Beautiful. Don't worry if you're, I won't ask you to stand up if you don't have it on you. I won't do that to you. So when we carry our goal card on us, 1 or 2 sentences, it's not meant to be the whole goal, it's meant to be the absolute core of it. And then when we touch our goal and we feel it, we think of the image that we've created. We think of what the long written description. I teach this in a lot of detail in the first 2 weeks of TIR 3.0. And we have a short description, a long description, and we build an image around it, and there's a way in which we turn it over to our subconscious mind. And the goal card is meant to trigger the image in our conscious mind. When we do that with repetition, we turn it over to our subconscious mind. It starts to influence the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is in every cell of our body. As we begin to express the new vibration, we put ourselves in harmony with it. It brings order to our conscious mind, and order is heaven's first law. So what is it that you really want? You turn over in your workbooks. This may be a couple more pages in. I'm not sure where it is in the workbook. What do you really want? What is it that you have decided to accomplish, create, or improve? Write it below in the present tense. Try to write this part out in 1 or 2 sentences. Some of you will be a little bit unsure about this, so write out what you think you have decided to achieve in 1 or 2 sentences. Whatever you do, don't not write in this activity, because that is one of the ways that you are self-sabotaging yourself. It is one of the ways the terror barrier is kicking in, because if I don't write it down, I'm not aware of it, I don't have to do anything about it, and I can stay stuck. Or I can stay in bondage. I can stay where I am and nothing has to shift. We do ourselves a great disservice when we let that happen. It means that you will not be experiencing anything better in life than what you've already got. Now think about the significance of that for a minute. That right now, today, is as good as it is ever going to get for you. Ever. If we let the paradigm stay in control, we are disqualifying ourselves from anything better in life that's available to us. You can be grateful, you can be happy, but this is as good as it's ever going to get. I certainly don't want that. And I don't mean just physically, spiritually. Is this the most aware you ever want to become? Ever. That your awareness would never go beyond where it is today, unless we change the paradigm. Unless we begin to study, unless we begin to know thyself. begin to work in an orderly way around who we are and what we want and how we're creating it. So 1 or 2 sentences, write out now. I'm going to give you 90 seconds to write down what you really want or what you think you have decided to accomplish in the present tense. All right. Now I want you to choose a date when you would love it to happen by. I'm going to give you 15 seconds to choose a date. Now I want you to write those couple of sentences and the date on the back of the goal card on your table. You have 2 of these goal cards. There's one on your table and also one in your satchel. So for all of you there that are already in the terror barrier and the fear of, I don't know whether this is what I really want, just do it anyway. Write out those couple of sentences, put it on the back of your goal card. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have, write out what you would love and put the date on it at the top right-hand corner. You will need this goal card for something shortly. So make sure you have written out on the back of the goal card a couple of sentences that describe your C-type goal, what you would love, and put the date on it. Now I want you to hold this goal card in your hand. Everyone hold it up. Higher. And I want you to think about the answer to this question. What is the alternative if you don't go after this goal? How will you be settling for your present results? I'm going to say it again. What is the alternative if you don't go after this goal? How will you be settling for your present results? Now write out what comes to mind around that question. How will you be settling? There are 4 stages in the psychological process of growth. The 4 stages are bondage, reason, conflict, and freedom. Bondage. This one here. Bondage is where we're entertaining no new ideas. Now, I'm going to guess this wasn't you walking into the room. This may have been you 3 months ago, 6 months ago. You've reached a plateau. You're thinking, I'm kind of just going along. No new thoughts, no new feelings, no new actions. Remember, the top half of the circle is your thoughts. So you could think of that as write the letter T in there. The bottom half is feelings or your subconscious mind, your emotional mind. This little circle is your body, and you can put an A there, actions, produce results. Those 3 parts, look here, come together to produce our attitude or express our thoughts, feelings, actions expressed, create our results. They come together and create our results. So if we look here, if we're not thinking any new thoughts, no new feelings, no new actions, we're going to continue to create no new results. That's your X-type conditioning. So then we entertain an idea of doing something new. For some of you, you may have experienced a terror barrier entertaining the idea of coming to this event. I'm going to do that. I'm going to go. Yes, I'll be there. When it came time to actually book the ticket, though, we may have experienced the terror barrier. Can I do it? Can I afford it? What's the trip going to cost? Will I be able to get a babysitter? Can I have the time? We're now going to act on the why idea, the goal. That's conflict. In between here is what we call reason. So reason is where you're entertaining the idea of doing something new. Some of you are entertaining the idea of joining Ascension in a circle. You're thinking about it. I'd love to do it. I want to be there, but you haven't acted on that decision yet. You haven't filled out the enrollment form. You haven't handed out your credit card. You're not in conflict yet. We haven't done anything about it. As far as your mind-body is concerned, I'm still in homeostasis. I'm okay. That's what we call reason. So just at a conscious level, we are entertaining the idea. But subconsciously, nothing's changed, right? Nothing's changed there yet. We're not impacting ourselves with any new vibration. We haven't acted on it. No new behaviors. We're going to keep creating the same results. Doesn't matter that you want to do it. If you're not in Ascension Inner Circle, you can't get the results that Ascension Inner Circle will give you. It doesn't matter that you want to be there. That's not enough. We've got to act on the decision, right? So that's reason. Conflict, now you've got your goal, this why idea, you go to act on it. You went to speak it out loud to somebody, right? We went to bring it to life. Oh my God, I don't know whether I can do that. That's weird. That's different. All of a sudden, immediately, that first time we went into conflict, we experienced emotions like, what were some of the emotions that we experienced? Scared. What else did people say from that? Embarrassing, doubtful. What would they think of me? Right? Because we're also acting on a part of our old self-image. There's an old self-image paradigm here. And so now we're in this XY vibration. It's two competing frequencies in your body, two competing images. You've got the old self-image and the new self-image. When you went to speak to the other person in the room, you were embodying a new self-image that first time round. But it felt uncomfortable, didn't it? Because the old you, or the old self-image, is still in the room. That hasn't changed. The mental programming hasn't changed yet. You don't have the belief system embedded in your subconscious mind. You have belief on two levels. You have belief in your conscious mind and in your subconscious mind. I teach you that in Lesson 8, the power of praxis, in TIR. So we can say consciously we believe it. Yes, I can do this, but subconsciously we're not doing anything about it. We're not taking any action. We're not, investing time, money, changing our paradigms, building new beliefs that match that result. So we haven't created praxis. We haven't closed the gap between what we consciously know and what we're actually doing, which comes from our subconscious mind, and it is expressed to and through us in results. So now we live in conflict. But the second time that we did it, it felt slightly easier, right? And we had to do it. Also notice how I made you make decisions. You have 90 seconds to write out those 1 or 2 sentences. You have 15 seconds to choose a goal so that you couldn't get too much into hitting the terror barrier and going back to bondage, leaving the room without anything written down. How many of you before that activity were prepared to get to that later? Like in your little thoughts in the back of my mind, I'll do that later. I'll do that. I'll sit down when I get home and I'll have all the time to think about what I really want. No, you won't. You won't do it because 96 to 98% of the way you operate is habit. You will go back into your normal routine. You will forget about it. The energy of this will wear off in a week or two, maybe a day or two. The second that you leave that room, it's just the way it is, unless we've made a decision to create the paradigm shift, to elevate ourselves to a new frequency and stay there. So the first 3 stages, bondage, reason, conflict. We hit the terror barrier. We experience worry on a conscious level, fear on a subconscious level, anxiety in our body. We say, I don't like how this feels. We go back to bondage. We talk ourselves out of the things that we want. We talk ourselves out of the decision. We say, not now, not yet, in 6 months, in 12 months, even though we felt attracted and inspired in that moment to do it. Happens all the time. We go back to bondage. And guess what? We go, oh, thank goodness I feel better. That was absolutely the right decision. And in a week or 2 or a month or 6 months or a year, oh my goodness, I need to do something about that. I still want that goal. I want to create this change. And so the process starts again until we learn how to crash through that terror barrier to freedom. When you are mastering you, you're in control. You give yourself a command and you do it despite feeling scared. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek. I thought I had that up as a quote. But there's another one there. Fear and growth go hand in hand. When you courageously face the thing you fear, you automatically experience the growth you have been seeking. Do the thing that you want to do. Make the decision. Take the action. Feel the fear and do it anyway. 10 seconds of courage. And you are breaking through the terror barrier. People spend most of their lives bouncing around here. Bondage, they entertain a new idea, they go to act on it, they hit the terror barrier, they bounce back to bondage, and it starts again. You give yourself a command and you follow through. You are now free. That is the fourth stage of the terror barrier. It is not the strongest species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the ones most responsive to change. Transformation in any organization requires an individual and or a team to be able to crash through the terror barrier, to understand what is happening mentally, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, and move them through that terror barrier. Because on the other side is the elevated results. On the other side is more of what we want. We achieve this positive state through knowledge and study at a conscious level, and understanding and faith at a subconscious level, which leads to a feeling of well-being. This is why in lesson 2 of the Wealthy You that we gave you in the lead up to Elevate, it's not called goal setting, it's called well-being. Because when you are working with your C-type goals and growing, you experience a state of well-being. You experience a state of well-being as you face the terror barrier and you conquer it. You learn something about yourself in that moment, how you moved yourself forward. Every time you hit the terror barrier and you come back to bondage, you are knocking yourself down that self-esteem ladder. I didn't do it. Ugh, I wanted to, but I didn't. You are knocking yourself down a peg. If that has been something you have noticed in yourself, it stops today. You can't live life like that. In that video that we played of you of Bob, he said, if you want to win, you've got to have guts. And if you're not prepared to act on your ideas, you don't deserve to win. If you're not prepared to conquer the terror barrier and crash right through it, then there's no way you can access what's on the other side of it. Athena, I think about you moving on from a corporate career and the terror barrier of being a seasoned executive for a multinational global company. But did you see the passion that she sat with on stage yesterday? I got goosebumps talking about it. Can you imagine, as those companies grow and evolve, the difference that that will make? Being able to access flexible CEOs to go into small to medium enterprises like yours, to bring that wealth of knowledge, and what that will do for the small to medium enterprises around the world globally, elevate them, that the families now will get their time freedom back, like Richard spoke about, be able to spend more time with their children, their partners, because the second me takes care of so much stuff. But she had to conquer the terror barrier. We can always measure what we are giving up, but we can never measure what we're going to get. Shane Hiscock, I spoke about yesterday, when he came to me many years ago now, 2019 I think it was, and he started thinking into results. Like, we didn't have this sort of payment plan back then, but he was like, can I start with a deposit of $3,000? And I was like, mate, that's not a lot. And he was like, please. Anyway, and we did it for him, and he was earning six figures, but he just never really was getting ahead. And he said, I had done everything. I had done everything, done all of the seminars, all of the trainings. He said, this was it. Like, this was putting it all on the line. And then he did thinking into results, and he went into Inner Circle. He actually went into Diamond Club then. We don't have that program anymore. It's Ascension Inner Circle is a merging of Inner Circle and Diamond Club all together. And he let go of what he had to create what he's created now with Local Buyers Agency. And he said, I don't know whether I should do this. I'm scared. And I said, you can always measure what you're giving up, but you can never measure what you're going to get. He could measure that investment in TIR. He probably invested $35,000 working with me. Within a year, he'd earned over $1 million. But that was a big deal for him at the time. He could measure that money going out. But he could never have measured at that moment that a little over a year, maybe 18 months it was after he launched. But I remember him messaging me and telling me his first year of business, he turned over $1 million. He conquered the terror barrier many times. But that first time, and then the second time about starting the business, should I do it, shouldn't I do it, led to freedom. If he wasn't in this state of mind, if he wasn't studying, if he didn't understand himself, how all this fits together, there is no way he would have just kept hitting that wall and bouncing right back to bondage. So we've got to be willing to conquer that terror barrier. We can be scared of the opportunities presented to us, but what you get on the other side is likely more incredible than you could ever have imagined, because you're accessing a new level of awareness. The second that she realized what it was, you could see her whole energy changed, didn't it? Her face lit up, there was a smile, there was a little bit of excitement, right? That's what it feels like, conquering the terror barrier. You're really quite scared and fearful. There's worry on a conscious level, doubt on a subconscious level, anxiety in the body. We're anxious now. That energy is now in our body. If we suppress that, that puts our body in a dis-ease state, disease. Do you know that word? Dis-ease, a body that's not at rest. If we continue to suppress that, it leads to depression. When we express ourselves through our goals, when we act on the things that we want to do, even though we are scared, but we do it now because we have knowledge on a conscious level of the process, we have studied ourselves the process, we understand it, we now have faith on a subconscious level, we experience a state of well-being. She experienced a state of well-being on the stage on the other side of that. 2 dramatic emotions within the space of 10 seconds. She conquered the terror barrier and she won herself $50. That was it. So do you get it? That's the terror barrier.